Hey there, fellow knowledge enthusiasts. Today's mind-blowing journey into the realm of consciousness is filled with the fascinating secrets of the world's linguistic wonders. Consciousness is the enigmatic quality that sets humans apart from all other creatures. But what if we told you that the English language holds a clue to this enduring puzzle, hidden within the depths of a simple auxiliary verb? Today, we're going on an intellectual adventure where we uncover the fascinating role of an unassuming linguistic component in the English language, the auxiliary verb be. Buckle up because things are about to get profound. In the first flow, we will elucidate what syllable is used in Arabic and Sanskrit, corresponding to the auxiliary verb be. Subsequently, we will go to our intriguing concept that the English language is the language of the one-word theory when attached to the verb be, as in belief and because. In the second flow, we will elucidate the correlation between the Plato cave and the Chinese philosophical concept of yin and yang in correlation with the Seven Sleepers story. In this flow, we will elucidate how the auxiliary verb be probably solves the mystery of consciousness. Throughout history, philosophers have sought to understand the nature of consciousness, but it is through language that we can truly grasp its intricacies. The auxiliary verb be allows us to express ourselves, assert our existence, and contemplate the very essence of being. Behold the key ingredient in our linguistic quest, the auxiliary verb be. Unveiling its essence and exploring its usage can unravel the depths of consciousness itself. We explore that assumption through three words with the prefix be, believe, because. Believe, let us begin with the verb live, and later we will be coming up with the noun life. Upon the be attached to the verb live, that leads to the existence of the letter E. But why is the letter E coming to be as a third letter and not to a second letter position? Now, let us look for the meaning of the word be in ancient spiritual land based on SanskritDictionary.com, representing one of the meanings for the Akasha word, which is derived from a root kash meaning to be. Akasha regards the fifth element translated as ather, which probably refers to consciousness. Now let us take another perspective from the Quran, in which the word kun, translated as be, probably means consciousness. We claim that the syllable kun in Arabic should be represented in English with the syllable kon in English with the letters C-O-N-N rather than K-U-N-N in a better phonetic transcription from Arabic to English. Furthermore, the syllable kon is used in English to form many words, whereas the syllables K, O, or U are not used. Therefore, when the letters K and N form the syllable kun, as in the word no, K is silent because that syllable is reserved by the three letters C, O, and N. Furthermore, in computer science, as an applied field for consciousness, you cannot use the abbreviations con and aux to name any file or folder in your computer because the system reserves it. You can try to do it now. We often underestimate the power of language and fail to recognize the subtle complexities it carries within. In the English language, the auxiliary verb be not only expresses existence, but also plays a pivotal role in revealing our state of consciousness. Now, from be to being. In reference to our draft paper on ResearchGate.net with the title, How Jesus Was Born, we mentioned that the being in philosophy probably refers to the superposition state in quantum mechanics. The flux of our thoughts probably led to a state of decoherence. So in meditation, we need to stop our thoughts to keep us in a coherent state at the present moment. as the B forms available from the root chakra in I am to the crown chakra in the state of being. Based on Heidegger's argument that being equals existence plus task, you can imagine that be in multiple states like electrons, that our thoughts as tasks lead to decoherence and form existence. Through the English language, that should be described from the prefix "d", which refers to off or from. An example of that in the word decision, a cutting off of all possibilities but one, and the word deduce, which is to arrive at a conclusion by leading evidence from a given situation. The most familiar example that describes the situation is deoxy, indicating the removal of oxygen from ribose sugar in RNA to DNA. Hence, the language actually describes what occurs in the micro world. From that perspective, we argue that the prefix "d" adds to the word coherence and denotes the removal of the superposition state. This leads to the existence expressed in language in the first letter, A. If the letter E represents existence, how is it manifested in our subjective reality? E stands for existence, and it is no coincidence that it is the most common letter in the English language. Just as the letter E is ubiquitous in our written words, existence pervades every aspect of our subjective reality. The letter E is the most frequent letter in English in any paragraph, with a percent of approximately 12%. The letter E is represented in the Euler identity, with Einstein as energy in the formula of special relativity, in electrons that form a molecule, and in English, which is the science language. We also don't forget that the letter E manifested in the ego and evil. Furthermore, you found that E is regarded as the fifth letter in the English alphabet. The fifth finger in our hand in the Arabic language is called Ibham, which means mysterious. As with time leads to becoming, that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing, which manifested in our belief, which is the essence of consciousness. But does the belief mean certainty or uncertainty? Regarding the previous video question, does your brain deal with certainty or uncertainty issues? Now, let us pose many questions. What caused the Big Bang? Why is the E letter the most frequent letter? What causes wave function collapse? Why is energy everything? Take a moment to ponder the word because. Have you ever noticed the fascinating construction of this word? Pay close attention, for it holds the key to the English language, and based on the cause-effect nature law, to unlocking the mysteries of our perception. From the English language mystery, you can summarize the answer in one word, which is because. The word because arises from two distinct components, be and cause. The verb be precedes the cause. Once again, we witness the be discreetly conveying the concept of consciousness, while the cause elucidates the reason. Therefore, the consciousness is the cause. You see, the verb be serves as a prefix, a catalyst, the very cause of everything in the universe. It's the spark that ignites the flames of creation. As this theory mentioned in our previous video, string theory is consciousness theory, as consciousness is a fundamental and ubiquitous feature of reality. We are going through the Bible and the Quran in chapter 1, verse 1 for both. In the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In reference to the Zohar Pritzker edition, volume 1, page 130, Bereshit regards a mystery that was translated as in the beginning. The meaning encoded in the first letter or phoneme be. In the Quran, in the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. The first two words are Bismillah, Therefore, in the Bible and the Quran, the beginning has the same phoneme, B, which represents how our universe begins through B, which is consciousness. In addition, in science, that theory describes the beginning as the Big Bang, B everywhere. Furthermore, when you translate the word because in the Arabic language, it means bisabab. What is this? The phoneme B remains constant with the same meaning even with language change. The verb be is used in the Arabic language as a prefix, which refers to the preposition phrase jar wa majroor. That is what we will explore in the following video, inshallah. Based on the Al-Quran statistical software, approximately 572 forms are attached with the phoneme B, with a frequency of approximately 2,580 times. So, go through those forms and reply to us in a comment below about which form you need to discuss. But wait, there's more. Let's journey further down the rabbit hole. As we begin with the verb live, we close with the noun life. Now, take a moment to see how be is attached to the life to form our belief. The letter F moves from the third position to the fourth, whereas the letter E returns to the third position. Why does that rearrangement for letters occur? What message does the auxiliary verb be try to deliver to us? We argue that in both the verb live and the noun life, the message that the verb be delivered to us is that there is a lie within our beliefs. Your belief that you live here in the subjective reality, whereas the verb be replies to you through your belief, there is a lie, through your belief, there is a lie. In this flow, we go through the fact that within our beliefs, there is a lie, and the reality we live in is just an illusion. Begin with Plato, one of the greatest philosophers of all time. In his famous allegory of the cave, he believed that what we see in this world is merely a distorted reflection of the ultimate truth. The truth lies beyond the cave, outside our comfort zone. The real truth may not always be easy to accept. It may challenge our preconceived notions, shake the foundation of our beliefs, and push us beyond our comfort zone. But if we dare to step outside our cave to embrace the fluidity of reality, we may uncover a deeper, more profound understanding of the world we live in. Yin and Yang is the ancient Chinese concept that symbolizes the interdependence and duality of life. According to this philosophy, reality itself isn't real. John Wheeler argued that the names given to concepts or descriptions of an idea strongly influence how we think about concepts and ideas, even how we work on them and build on them. In short, the word inspires the deed. Thus, Wheeler spent hours finding the best words. His coined terms include black hole and wormhole. The word black hole describes what a black hole it is. What about the word wormhole, because worms make holes in the ground? Human language describes what reality is. In addition, the Greco-Roman civilization identified a cave as the entrance to the underground world. So, we should ask ourselves, where is the location of that cave? And what is the correlation between that cave and the seven sleepers story mentioned in the Quran chapter 18 from verses 9 to 26? For more details about this topic, you can visit our account on researchgate.net, which has 2 draft papers that reveal the actual cave of the seven sleepers by linking science disciplines with Quran interpretation and multiverse theory evidence, supporting the possibility of experimental verification near Naples, Italy. We will explore the triliteral of the word wara in chapter 18, verse 19. Because the verb be is attached to the root, what is that signification? In reference to corpuscran.com, through our method for the Quran interpretation, with the frequency of the root, The route was frequented 4 times, 2 times in correlation with Adam's story. Therefore, the type of Adam leaf should offer us the sign to know the type of coin of the 7 sleepers. In reference to accordance software, in the Bible book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 7, denotes that Adam and Eve clad themselves with fig leaves. Consequently, the fig leaves probably correlated to the coin of the 7 sleepers. In refers to the scholarly of Christianity and Muslims, the type of coin of the 7 sleepers is silver. Therefore, we argue that the type of coin is the silver coin of Sextus Pompeius Faustulus, denarius, Rome, back to period 137 BC, in which the reverse side of the coin is shown with the fig tree in the background. Hence, this type of the 7 sleepers coin has historical significance and still exists in the hole of the dog cave near Naples, Italy, which was a hole blockage by Theodosius in the year 380. That is, the cave is correlated to the 7 sleepers story and is regarded as the entrance not to the underground world, but to the higher level of the world. Our minds are programmed to reject anything that challenges our current beliefs and understanding of reality. So, at this point, we reaffirm our prediction based on our interpretation of verse 8 in the cave chapter and the scientist's warning. As mentioned in our draft papers above, the Quran implies that the destiny of Earth will be similar to Mars, with barren soil devoid of water. Hence, we anticipate a solar storm on 23rd September 2028, followed by a supervolcano in Campi Flegrei, Italy, a magnetic field reversal, and a glacial lake outburst flood. This is the beginning of that destiny as repeated for what occurs with the shaman, the 2 horns mentioned in the cave chapter from verses 83 to 98. Nevertheless, the foundation of all knowledge in our universe is based on uncertainty. Thus, maybe we are incorrect, but at least we have determined the location of evidence to uncover. Despite the challenging environmental conditions inside the dog cave, characterized by a temperature around 70 Celsius and the average levels of carbon dioxide around 70%, while nitrogen around 25%. So that condition creates obstacles to any investigation in the dog cave. However, the evidence in the dog cave probably deserves effort to overcome the harsh conditions to uncover the evidence. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey. Language is a remarkable gift that constantly surprises us. Exploring the connection between languages allows us to appreciate the linguistic nuances that shape our world. Remember, language is not just a means of communication. It is a path to understanding, connecting, and expanding our horizons. Until next time, keep seeking the truth and remember always to question what you believe. Stay curious, our friends. Goodbye.